What's going on, guys? It's Frito here for your Overwatch, the big Season 6 announcement trailer for Story Mode, as well as a teaser for the brand new hero that's going to be added to the game, just dropped. So the new hero is here. That's what she looks like. We know it's going to be a support. Then on top of that, we also got this very important article on Xbox Wire, which is going to be explaining the business model and a partnership with Xbox for this content. So we're going to play the trailer in the background while I go through this article. I think watching the trailer is more interesting. So it says a new threat to the world begins in Overwatch 2 Invasion. That's what the big PvE story mission campaign is going to be called, Invasion, where the Null Sector Omnics are invading. If it's a fight they want, I'd say let's give it to them. The world has been thrust into chaos when a global invasion by a rogue group of machines threatens humanity, and it will be up to a new generation of heroes to save the day. As revealed during the Xbox Games Showcase starting August 10th, players on Xbox Series X and S and Xbox One will be able to answer the call in exciting story missions featuring many heroes in Overwatch 2. This is Overwatch 2's biggest update ever. We're calling it Overwatch 2 Invasion. Overwatch 2 is a Blizzard Entertainment free-to-play team-based shooter set in an optimistic future where every match is the ultimate 5v5 battlefield brawl. You can jump into the action now as a time-jumping freedom fighter, a beat-dropping battlefield DJ, or one of 30 other unique heroes as you battle it out around the globe in exciting PvP battles, or join in brand new story missions launching August 10th. Overwatch 2 Invasion brings new story missions, a new season of content to unlock, an all-new PvP core game mode, new ways to build on your skills with your favorite heroes, a brand new support hero, and more. And if you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, you'll be able to unlock all Overwatch 2 heroes when you pick up the Overwatch 2 New Hero Starter Pack, included as part of Game Pass Ultimate perks at the start of Overwatch 2 Invasion August 10th. So that's a big drop of information right there. We're always worried about old